Now boys, in these past few weeks, I think it's fair to say that there's been quite the back and forth between Call of Duty and Battlefield. Well, I say it was a back and forth, it was more like a one-sided beatdown, with Battlefield doing constant damage while Call of Duty scrambles in a wild panic, gasping for air.
You turned her against me!
You have done that yourself!
Don't believe me? Well then, kindly observe. Holy shit, people are still bombing the hell out of the gameplay reveal trailer, what the... Okay, anyway, if we direct our attention over here, you'll notice that their gameplay trailer had two very different thumbnails. On the 19th of August, they had this thumbnail, and due to the overwhelming amount of viewers just absolutely dislike bombing the trailer into oblivion, Activision obviously panicked and then chose to change the thumbnail 3 weeks later via YouTube's test and compare feature for thumbnails. Apparently, it's become Infinite Warfare all over again, people. Now, this is coming from someone that actually liked Infinite Warfare, and I think it's a pretty underrated Call of Duty game, especially from a campaign standpoint. But it's become clear that Activision wants Black Ops 7 to appear more realistic and more grounded. But did that work? Well, not quite. There's even been rumors that Black Ops 7 won't have skill-based matchmaking, which we all know isn't happening. Like, come on now. They're keeping that shit on in pubs. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. Now, compared to the backlash they got back then with Infinite Warfare, the reason this time is,
Same, but different.
back then, the backlash was due to the game setting being so unexpected. A futuristic setting was probably one of the last things players had in mind. So it was quite polarizing back in 2016. But this time around, yes, the futuristic setting was once again completely unexpected. But aside from the modern Call of Duty craziness many players have come to despise, part of the backlash is actually because they are repeating that very same futuristic setting, instead of going back to what made Call of Duty great in the first place, which was a slower, more realistic, boots on the ground setting, which most players would agree that's what Call of Duty is and always has been. Now sure, Call of Duty was never the most tactical or realistic shooter game on the market, but it was never this TikTok brain rot, instant gratification bullshit of a sweatfest we currently have now.
I'm already breaking movement.
Sure, buddy.
Which then also bled into Warzone, and for those of you who have been living under a rock, Warzone is Call of Duty's Battle Royale. And speaking of Battle Royale, this is where we get to the real meat and potatoes of this video. Battlefield 6 has made the arguably questionable decision to dip their toes into the Battle Royale genre one more time. I mean, they've made a Battle Royale mode in the past with Battlefield 5 called Firestorm, but that didn't really go too well. Now to be fair, it went well at first, but the hype didn't really last all that long. Now this time, however, based on the information they provided and some of the leaked gameplay I've seen, things could be a little bit different compared to Battlefield 5's Firestorm. And the reason I bring this up is because Delta Force had the opportunity to introduce a Battle Royale mode ages ago. Well, to be fair, they still had that opportunity, but whether or not they capitalize on it, only time will tell. And I'm pretty sure the Delta Force devs have been keeping a keen eye on what Battlefield 6 has been doing leading up to the official release of the game. Battlefield 6 is a direct competitor, so of course they would. I'm just gonna come out and say this, and I'm sure many would agree, but does Delta Force or Battlefield 6 need a Battle Royale mode? No, they don't. That much is obvious. But I do understand why many players, myself included, wishes that Delta Force would include a Battle Royale mode. And here's the thing, the Battle Royale argument isn't even really coming from PC or console players as far as Delta Force is concerned. Sure, a lot of us want a more grounded, somewhat more realistic, and a less brain-rotted, military-focused Battle Royale experience that Warzone just simply won't provide. But the argument is actually coming from mobile players, because the market for a military-focused Battle Royale experience on the mobile platform is pretty non-existent. Battle Royale has been the most requested mode from Delta Force's mobile player base. And for the life of me, I can't understand why the Delta Force devs haven't made it yet. When Activision tried to dip their toes in the mobile pool, they completely fell in and then ended up taking a massive shit in that very same pool. That's how bad Warzone Mobile was. And sure, players who already have the game can still play it until the servers inevitably get permanently shut down, but the game has been removed from both the Google and Apple App Store. Not to mention that Warzone Mobile currently holds the record for being the most uninstalled mobile game in 24 hours. So the market for a military-focused Battle Royale on the mobile platform right now is currently vacant. That's why I, a PC player, constantly advocates for Delta Force to include a Battle Royale mode. And it's not for me. It's for the mobile players. Like, dude, I'm a PC player. Sure, I would love a Delta Force Battle Royale, but unlike mobile players, I at least have some decent quality options to choose from. Sure, the options for a military-focused and grounded Battle Royale on PC and console are pretty scarce. I swear to God, if someone says just play Warzone, brother, you and I, we are gonna have a fucking problem. But with Battlefield 6's upcoming BR mode, PC and console players just got another option. Mobile players don't exactly have that. The battle royales they have to choose from are the equivalent to the clown emoji. They are outdated, archaic, and the mobile battle royale scene has become the definition of a glorified clown show. And if you're curious about the gameplay you're seeing on screen right now, yes, that is PUBG Mobile. How times have changed. Like brother, Delta Force is a well optimized on mobile. You can run it with little to no issues on an iPhone 6s, which is well below the minimum and recommended specs. Sure, it's nowhere near the best experience visually, and sure there's noticeable limitations, but for the most part it's 100% playable. Now whether or not that would be considered an enjoyable experience, well, that's entirely up to the player. But that's just how good of a job the developers did with the mobile version of Delta Force. And by the way, Delta Force does in fact have cross progression, so your account can be played on each platform, whether it be PC, console or mobile. So for example, if you're taking a train or a bus to work in the morning and you just want to get a quick game in on your phone while on your way to work, you can absolutely do that. And then when you get home from work later that day, you can log into that very same account on either your PC or console and then just pick up where you left off, obviously from a progression standpoint. And here's the thing, Battlefield 6 doesn't have a mobile version, so Delta Force would fill in that void from a BR perspective. They already filled in that void with a 32v32 warfare mode, which is very similar to Battlefield's Conquest mode. They already have a pretty fleshed out extraction mode across mobile, PC and console, which is similar to what you'd see from titles like Escape from Tarkov and Arena Breaker Infinite. Sure, it's not as extreme as those games, and honestly it really doesn't need to be, but it is a pretty satisfying experience for those who like the extraction genre regardless of the platform they play on. So with that being said, I don't see how Delta Force couldn't capture the Battle Royale audience with a somewhat authentic military focused BR mode on all three platforms. Oh, and just by the way, the reason why quite a number of content creators, myself included, are excited for Battlefield 6's Battle Royale mode is not just because it's a Battle Royale mode. Sure, some of these creators are admittedly excited for pretty selfish reasons. Like, come on now, they fucking snitched on themselves.
I see people talking about like, Battlefield doesn't need to be. Can you guys just let us have one that like BRs? Like, for someone like me, I love playing Battle Royales. And on top of that, it's how I make a lot of my content.
I prefer really not to speak.
But it's because that right now the closest thing we have to a somewhat authentic military focused BR experience is Arma 3's Battle Royale mod, which can only be played on PC, so the console boys can't even experience that. And if for some reason you want to count Warzone as a military focused BR, brother, I'd say you're out of your fucking mind. Go check yourself into an insane asylum, you absolute fucking weirdo. But yeah, in general, I'd say the market for a military focused BR is almost non-existent regardless of the platform you play on, and Battlefield 6 could potentially change that. Well, on PC and console at least. Like, you know what? Honestly, I hope Battlefield 6 gives us Arma 3 Battle Royale mod, but like for casuals. I think that actually wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, anyway, that's the video. Those are my thoughts. But what do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.